Welcome to They Gonna Feel Me podcast. This is episode 14, and I'm your host for today, Rob, joined by young Chris, LC, and Roosevelt himself. The authentic show. Well, authentic men have authentic conversations. But before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video and this channel with your friends, your mama and them, Pookie, Ray, and all them. I know you see the drip though. Ooh, check us out. Check us out. You see it.
Hit him with the
You see it.
flex.
But keep watching
Nip
though,
slip,
because
nip slip.
at the end, we gonna tell you how to get some of this drip. But you gotta keep watching to the end of the show. Let's kick this thing off though with this first topic. Ooh, unless you've been living under a rock, we know you've heard about your boy Chucky, aka Jon Gruden, the current head, well, I'm sorry, the former head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. He was fired after some pretty terrible emails were released last week. Fellas, what do you think about Jon Gruden and his tawdry and bad emails? What y'all got?
Man, trash, cuz he always been trash and he will forever be trash. You know what I'm saying? His only claim to fame is taking a team that another coach built and winning the Super Bowl, to be honest. If we really gonna be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like that really wasn't his team, and he won a Super Bowl off of somebody else's work. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? The emails is terrible. Like, him, the racist comments about, I believe, DeMaurice Smith, who's the NFL Players Association, the leader of the
The president.
NFL, president of the NFL Players Association. That's pretty terrible, among other things, him sending, talking about female referees and their place in the NFL and sending referees in bikinis and like that's that's trash. And then on top of it, talking about players like Michael Sam and allowing them in the NFL in a time like this where we're openly accepting the LGBTQ community. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like all the way around, he's just egregious. Like, I mean, every corner you turn, he's offending everybody. It's just not one group of people. He's offending everybody. So, from black people to women to gays and transgender people, like he's just offending everybody. So I'm glad the NFL is doing away with him because I never really cared for him. I hated his criticism of the quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson and black quarterbacks in general. He always was pretty harsh on those guys, talking about they wouldn't be what they wouldn't be at the next level. You know what I'm saying? And he was just, you could tell from his criticism of black quarterbacks that he was racist, to be honest with you. Even though it was subtle, like you could kind of tell that he was biased or racist towards black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, like I said, he's always been trash to me, and good riddance at the end of the day, And that's all I'm gonna say about it. I mean, I really don't like the dude. I never have, never will. So
I think it's safe to say that if the emails didn't come out about the LBGQ TQ community,
Boy, you whooping
none of
them
this.
letters,
I'm whooping them to
boy.
sleep. Y'all forgive me. Don't
Them
cancel
letters.
me, please. Jesus, I'm trying to get it together. I
Need
say it every
the
episode.
Max.
Say it
sorry.
slow,
I'm sorry.
Get them letters together, boy.
but it's safe to say that if those emails wouldn't have came out about that community, he wouldn't be fired because a lot of people, you know what I mean. When he said what he said about the president of the NFL Players Association, a lot of people went and looked up who he was because people don't know who he is. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't. And they were like, "Damn, he was telling the truth." I mean,
See, and I'm glad you you
it's
brought
safe
that
to
up.
say, even though it's fucked up what he said, it's safe to say that if it would have stopped at that email alone, he could have easily put out an apology. That's not me. Da 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 da. Team would have moved on. Nobody would have cared.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
because everything else came out, you say what you say about Michael Sam. Not to mention that you have what's his name, Mason Crosby,
Yeah.
on
On
your
your team
team.
right now,
That is also a gay man
homosexual
that's playing,
individual.
a
Yeah.
homosexual man that's playing in the NFL. Now it looks even worse. And then the way that they allowed him, he resigned. You know what I'm saying? Where if it would have been a black quarterback, he would have gotten fired. I mean, if it would have been a black coach, he would have gotten fired. You know what I'm saying? That would have been in the headlines. Oh, Tony Dungy got fired for sending out these emails or whatever black coach you want to say. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, dude's a clown, been a clown, never liked him. You made valid points. But I think it's safe to say that if those other emails would have never surfaced, he wouldn't have been out of a job. He'd still be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. They would have went out there and got a win, and the team has galvanized around him, and everybody's perfectly fine. So
I don't know. It's kind of like a thing of, you know, a rich white guy who has a colorful opinion about, anybody who isn't like a straight white male. Like that. There's nothing surprising about what he had to say. Like doesn't. Honestly, this is kind of like oh really, duh type
yeah, so it's like you
moment.
almost expect them to say it. It's like a
Yeah,
southern.
it's
You go to any southern coach in the South. You know what I'm saying? You would hear some shit like that. So
yeah, it's kind of like one of those things where, like, honestly, if you expose a lot of these white people, you are gonna that. It's funny how much they love, athletes and celebrities of color or whatever persuasion, and then but in their personal lives, talking amongst themselves, it's like N-word this
But
and
let me
and what have you.
But let me ask you this though, because I would shoot back at you if, since you said that, you said it's interesting that they love these athletes. I would shoot back
They
and
love
not
what they do for
necessarily
them.
they don't love the athletes. They
They love
love
what they
what
do for them.
the athletes do for them.
Right.
yeah,
That's the same way as, like, you have your Power Five schools, where if you look at the football team or the basketball team, and 95 or 99% of the team is African American. But if you look at the school demographics as a whole, you know, nowhere nowhere to be found. And they'll cheer for you on Saturday, like, yeah, boy, go run that touchdown, go run, go run
95%
fast.
of the team be black, 100% of all the star players are black, and 75% of the text messages in his phone are talking about N-word this,
yep.
N-word that,
But
and
then there's also another aspect to it, because if you think about it, man, this stuff is so complex because, okay, like you just said, we just giving estimates of numbers, like 80, 90, 95% of the team is African American. Okay, but let's fast forward 10 years, 15 years from now, when those athletes get through playing and they decide, hey, I want to come back and I want to coach. If we look at the head coaches, in the Power Five. Guess again who's not getting those head coaching jobs? Even though we look at the teams, and the teams are 90%, 85% African American, but we look at the head coaches and we don't see that. We don't see that same. You know what I'm saying? We don't see that same distribution in terms of the numbers. And then you ask yourself, I know there are more capable African Americans out there that can be head coaches, but they're
but
just not getting, you
that
know,
all lends, in
just not
my
getting
opinion,
the
that lends
opportunity.
that my bad, I don't mean to interrupt, but like I think that all lends to the whole fact that there's more white men in power like him. They basically want to share, I guess, the wealth
Mhm.
of opportunities with more people that look like them, even if like somebody who's played the game, was a star at the game, and it happens to be a person of color or even gay or whatever persuasion they may be, like that they're more suited for the job. It's like, I mean, like that situation isn't one that's going to like die easily, just like his mentality doesn't die easily,
I
So
mean, but you
let me ask y'all this, because you and Chris brought this up, and I think this is a great point that not a lot of people have really touched on. Some have touched on it, but I think it's a point that needs to be hammered home. There's a there's a report that came out, I think the middle of last week. It was saying that I want to say, don't quote me on this, but the NFL had came out and said that they reviewed the other emails, and it wasn't any of the 650 plus other emails that they went through. They didn't see anything else that was racially tinged or uh, disparaging of homosexuals or anything else like that. Now, you mean to tell me 600 and 650,000 emails. You pick out Jon Gruden's emails, and you want to make me believe that them were the only couple emails out of 650,000 that had anything in it that was just disparaging to any other people. You know what I'm saying? Really, you want that's what you want us. That's what you want us to believe.
It's to
yeah.
me, it's funny because it's like how this is like the epitome of a old white man getting in trouble for doing some shit that he shouldn't do. How old do you have to be to send emails talking about people? Like you got cell phones where you can text, you can have conversations, but you sending fucking emails that can easily be put in a folder and saved if I got some dirt on you. Like that shit is so like 1999-ish. Like it's crazy. It makes no sense that
But I
you
mean,
get
to me, that goes back to like privilege and like I feel like he never thought that he would get any backlash or in trouble for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like especially with those emails, it's just something like he just thought that nothing would ever happen. That's just like with Twitter. Like people go back 10 years or so, people don't really feel like they'll be criticized for something they did 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like it happened so long ago, it's gone. Like they like, oh, that, but then it comes back up and they're like, oh shit, like yeah, I guess I can get in trouble for this. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I just feel like, especially with somebody like Jon Gruden, like it's just a that sense of privilege and entitlement. Like he feels like he's untouchable until he is touched. And like going back to Rob's thing about the 650,000 emails, that's just the NFL trying to cover up. They're not gonna let anybody else get in trouble for that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna let Jon Gruden bear
The
the
fall
brunt
guy.
of, yeah, take the fall for it. And now he's out of the NFL. Now they look good because they got rid of the cancer, and they're not gonna have any more backlash unless somebody else raises an eyebrow and is like, oh no, like nah, this can't be it.
No. Now, if he was really gangster, he would be like, "Oh, okay, y'all want to fire me?
Yeah, right.
I'm finna throw the rest of
So
y'all.
the
Exactly.
rest of
I'm
y'all
finna
under
throw
the
the
bus.
rest of y'all under the bus." Now, if he was a real gangster, that's what he
Exactly.
would. You know what I'm saying? That's what he would do.
But it brings back like going back to last episode when we were talking about
I
Dave
was
Chappelle's
about to,
special.
I was
Boy, I
about to
know
say the
because this
same.
boy's raining in my brain. Cause it
Yes.
going back to that episode. You better not. You can talk about my blackness all you want. You can
Man,
call
what?
me an N-word, a coon, whatever. You ain't
Start
gonna get
talking about
fired. All you gotta do is come out, apologize, shed a couple white tears, and you good to go, right? But you talk about the alphabet crew. Oh, it's over, big
the
dog. You
alphabet
out of
crew.
it. You out of a job.
Well,
Cause
you know
see,
what
So
I
you
was.
remember, you
I was
remember when it
really.
first came out, when he talked about Demore Smith. He talked about his lips. Said rubbery
and that's what
lips
I'm
or
saying.
whatever.
Folks was going
Whatever.
back and looking at him like, Robbie, he was kind of telling the truth because dude,
They were
is
trying to.
funny
I
looking
mean,
so.
I've always said he's a rather weird looking guy. But
Come on, man.
that's beside the point. Hey,
But
because people might look at me and say I'm a weird looking guy. So
yeah, I mean, but even if
beauty's
he
in
is a
the eye of the
weird,
beholder. So
even if he is a weird looking guy, if we flip the script and this was a black man talking about a white guy,
We
and
get
he
away
was
with it.
like, do you think he would get away? Do you think he would get away with it if it was in public? Like, I don't think so. I think he would face some kind of
You know,
criticism.
a unspoken thing that we as black people, we do kind of get a pass on being blatantly racist, because like they either say it's almost like white people, it's like a form of white guilt, where we can say something a little bit more racist toward white people than they can say to us, and nobody's going to give us the same kind of flack, you know.
I mean, but like what though? Like
I
Like,
don't know,
take
man.
example, like I don't know, like Charlemagne the God, like he called white people, crack ass crackers and honkies like all the time. Like,
I think
That's
that's
a
different
jar of
though. I
I
think
hear,
mayonnaise and
that's
stuff
it.
like
I think
that.
that's
bro,
Or
I
different.
hear you, I hear that, but
and
you, no,
I'm
no,
saying
I know,
racist, but
I'm not,
honestly, I don't believe in the idea of black people being racist. But
no,
we can
no, no.
say things that are like biased
But
and
see,
not get
my thing was
drugged like
though,
white people.
if we looking at I'm talking about if we like holding up a scale, you know what I'm saying, a scale of weight,
Hmm.
the N word in cracker, it ain't nowhere
It don't equal
near
out. Yeah,
like,
True.
exactly.
you know what I'm saying.
It don't hold the same weight. I
Um,
don't even think, to be honest, like I don't even think when white people hear the word cracker, I don't think it triggers them like it triggers black people.
I
Like
no,
don't.
hearing the N word.
It
You know what
doesn't.
I'm saying?
But
It
Like I
it's
don't
the
think they
trigger them,
whole
but
probably
I do.
equivalence that we
they
have.
probably laugh. Like I would say about 75% of them probably laugh when they hear the word cracker. Like you
yeah,
know,
It's
then
a
or
funny
stuff
ass
like
word.
we call them like the newer thing is like called a Karen.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, even that ain't. I mean,
Well, white people nowadays, they're trying to say, "Oh, it's reverse racism," to say that dumb
Yeah.
shit.
I mean,
Like
I agree. I definitely agree. I think that we
mm,
can say certain shit, even though I don't feel like we're being racist. I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, we just stating points. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we can get away with saying certain racist shit, you know what I mean, towards white people, and we don't face the backlash that a white person would face,
if
if
in,
they were to say something. Like if
it,
somebody does something, we say, oh, that's some white shit. You know what I mean? Like you don't hear no flack or nothing like that. Motherfucker laugh. Half of the white people will laugh at you. You know what
you
I'm
know,
saying? So
you were bringing up like last week's show, and one thing that I took away from this that remind me of last week's show, I think about like Dave Chappelle and on his special, he was talking about cancel culture, and like I one takeaway from his special was where he kind of talks about like he doesn't believe in canceling somebody and ruining, I guess, their livelihood, and I guess he was trying to speak on that from a place of I guess giving people the chance to make mistakes and grow. But this is the argument I would make that conflicts with Dave and the part of his special that I didn't agree with. I honestly, some people get canceled and they rightfully get canceled. They fall out of media scrutiny. They are forced out of a job, and sometimes that's just what needs to happen. You need to, if you never make another dime ever again, nobody messed up your bag but you, with your antiquated ass thoughts, and that's when supporting people's ability to be so free and, have these very off color comments and thoughts, that's when it kind of needs to be silenced or at least treated with a level of loathing that is deserving of such talk, in my opinion.
okay. Well, speaking of somebody who's free thinking, let's move on to this next brother who maybe is free of a job in the coming days. Um, Kyrie Irving. What can you say about Kyrie Irving? Right now he's taking a stance in regards to the vaccine mandates and not necessarily being against getting vaccinated, but the mandates. So, what do you guys think? Because he went on IG live and kind of tried to more so clarify his point. What did you guys think?
What was his point?
he trying to speak up for the voiceless and the hopeless, but my thing is this. This is my thing. And I don't have a problem with anybody having an opinion. You're allowed to have whatever opinion you want to have. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm to the point now where I don't give a fuck if people get the vaccination. If you don't want to get it, don't get it. You know, because I mean,
Go,
I'm not going.
go say
It's no
hi to
need.
God in person.
You know what I'm saying? It's like no need to constantly have this battle. You're not gonna go do it. You're not gonna go do it. We already know he's, you know, in the league that he plays in, there are too many times where he has to take a step back and he gotta be the visionary and the spoken one, the outspoken one and everything. But this is my thing. And me and a couple guys had this conversation the other day. You want to be the voice to the hopeless or the voice to the voiceless, right? But
Right.
you won an NBA championship, you get paid millions of dollars, all of this. You can take 2, 3, 4 years. You can retire now. How many M's do you got in your bank account versus the person who got fired at Kroger because they didn't want to go get the vaccine? The person who got let go from FedEx because they didn't want to go get the vaccine, or the motherfucker that got let go from UPS. So you ain't speaking. You may be saying that you're speaking for people, but at the same time, are you giving back to these people? Are you taking your dimes and giving it to these people who can't get a job, even if they did get the vaccination, but their job just let them go because of COVID mandates, because the job lost so much money, so they had to do budget cuts and these people had to lose their job? Are you taking part of your funds and dividing it up and giving it to these people that are voiceless, that are hopeless, that are homeless, or whatever the case may be? You know what I'm saying? That's the part that I don't agree with. It's like you trying to stand for something, but at the same time, you sort of look foolish for what you're doing. You know what I mean? You willing to take you willing to take $1 million pay cut, millions of dollars pay cut, shall I say, because you don't want to go get a vaccine because you're against it, because you got to do more research. Cam Newton said the same thing. Now look what this motherfucker did. He went out and got the vaccination because he wanted to get picked up by a team. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just say if you don't want to do something, I'd rather you come out and just say, nah, I don't want to do it because I don't want to do it. I'm not gonna go get it. Versus saying that I gotta go get research. I'm tired of hearing that I gotta go get more research shit. Motherfucker, there's millions of ways to get research versus when motherfuckers was getting vaccinations back in the 50s and 60s. They didn't have no fucking computers. They didn't have Google in
Cell
eBay
phone.
or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's like
I mean,
sell something, man.
right.
Shit, I'm gonna sell your ass a fake vaccination or some shit.
Oh no,
vaccination.
Man.
First off, how you gonna do more research than the
the doctors,
made
bro?
the vaccine?
That's the thing that's like it's so mind-boggling to me.
Like, these people have tested this vaccine,
Kyrie's
countless times, and you gonna go do research on top of their research to make sure you need to take the vaccine.
And before you even continue, I know there are gonna be plenty of black people that's like, oh, black people kicking another black person. It has nothing to do with kicking another black person while he down. Motherfucker, you are black and you getting your money. Continue to get your money. But we need to be able to hold our people accountable when they doing dumb shit. And Kyrie, if you ever watch this show, come close, motherfucker. Let me turn it up. Let me turn my light back on. Go white and let me go back black so you can understand me. Nigga. Okay, we can hold you accountable for doing dumb shit, and right now you are doing dumb shit. You making Kevin Durant's decision to leave the light-skinned brother in that other state look very foolish, and you making everybody who said that him leaving him to join you was a dumb idea. And guess what? It's looking like a dumb idea. So
Curry,
that's right. Listen, man. Everybody that know me know I love Kyrie Irving, bro. I've loved him since he was a Cavaliers player. I've loved him since he played a Duke. Like, I like this game. You know what I'm saying?
I hear there's a butt coming. I hear it.
But as the years have gone on, it all started when he left LeBron. I thought that was the dumbest decision I've ever seen in my life, to leave after you win a championship. You have some chemistry. Your team is getting healthy. I thought that was the dumbest decision because he wanted to be the star. He wanted to be the person. He didn't want to live in LeBron's shadow. I get it. I can respect it, but I still thought it was a stupid decision. He goes to Boston, plays for them for like a year or so, wants to leave there because Tatum and Jaylen Brown are balling. He doesn't want to be on a team with those guys who are balling as well. And then the dumbest decision, you want to go join Kevin Durant and James Harden, who are two of the best players in the league, but you want to ball with them though. You want to ball with them guys, because you think you're gonna win. But it's the same thing. Like now you got to share the rock with two dudes who are ball dominant. You pretty much. But anyway, that's on a whole different subject. You know what I'm saying? To me, like this whole thing, like of people being, it comes down to people being rebellious. They don't want to be told what to do.
Yep.
And it is a shame. It's like I don't understand, bro. This is your life at stake, bro.
This isn't even
we're
just
not
your
talking
life; it's
about
other people's lives as
this
well.
is your life and other people's lives. What you're doing is affecting other people's lives. You know what I'm saying? Like for you, you're a millionaire. If you get sick, the likelihood of you surviving is probably you have like a 95%, maybe even 99%, chance of surviving. But if the average person who gets COVID gets sick with this virus, bro, like the chances of them dying are a lot higher. So now you're influencing people who are average people, making them think that it's comfortable to be okay to not get the vaccine. And to me, that's almost like their lives. Some of those people who are siding with you, if they get sick, their lives are kind of in your hand as well. You play a role in that. You know what I'm saying? Because if they get sick because they're doing what you're doing, then it's partially your fault. Because I want to be like Kyrie. If he ain't gonna get the vaccine, hell, I ain't gonna get the vaccine either. So what if they get sick? Are you going you know what I'm saying, go visit them in the hospital and try to get the doctors to treat them? Nah, because you don't believe in the vaccine. You don't believe in you with all this herbalistic, natural shit, you know what I'm saying? Because we all know he went to the Brooklyn arena, saging it out and all this shit. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking people who believe in that. But at the end of the day, this is science, bro. There is so much research and stuff that goes into these vaccines. This isn't bullshit. People like you got to understand, like this is life or death. This is a life or death situation for most people. And it's a ton of people that have died. It's a ton of more people that's going to die because they're being hard-headed. They want to be rebellious. They don't want to listen. They don't want to do what somebody tells them to do. And that's what it all boils down to. People don't want to be told what to do. And it's just sad. I mean, like, I don't know. Y'all will follow all these social media trends. You know what I'm saying? You'll follow your favorite celebrity and try to go pop a bottle or go to Gucci, spend all your damn money. But when it comes to the vaccine, you don't want to get a vaccine.
I think he said something in the IG video that I just, it was a flashpoint for me. Where he talked about his platform, and he alluded to his platform, and he was talking about his platform. I think when you are and then he came back and said, I'm just a hooper. I'm just a hooper or whatever. Folks got to understand. Athletes have to understand. Years ago, Charles Barkley made a commercial where he said, "I am not a role model." That's what That's what the whole campaign was. But in actuality, you actually are. Anytime you have a platform, you're highly visible, especially in the African American community, where we deify our entertainers, our sports athletes or whatever. Where you are pushed up as like the chosen one. Because think about it, when you're in high school, when you're in middle school, even all the way in elementary, when you have a kid that displays any kind of talent, any kind of gift. It can be marginal. They can halfway be able to carry a note. You know what I'm saying? You always think, oh, my baby, the next Beyonce. Or, he looked like he can shoot a ball halfway these. Oh, Steph Curry with the shot. You know what I'm saying? Or he looked like he got a little speed or something. Oh, Dion, prime time. You know what I'm saying? We from an early age, it's like we always try to identify the next big thing. and a lot of times they're coddled, they're treated differently, and what they don't realize though is people are looking at them. Other kids are looking at them as a role model. You might not want to be one, but in actuality, you actually are one. And a lot of them don't realize that the power in the words that they do have. If you look at somebody, go to their Twitter feed and look at all their followers and whatever. We've touched on this, for many episodes. Whether it's Nicki Minaj, whether it's Beyonce, whether it's Rihanna, we have these people that have like these cult followings that hang on their every word. You are a role model. So your platform is important. So it's important and incumbent upon you to be educated when you start speaking. Because if you go out and you're misinformed, other people are going to take that and they're going to run with it because, oh, Kyrie said it must be true because he got money, he got access to blah, blah, blah. And you assume that since they got money, since they got status, that they have a level or access to a level of information that you probably don't have. When in essence, they probably, from what they're exhibiting and what they're posting, they don't have as much. They haven't looked into the situation, even, I mean, that much more than you have. So it's always important. It's important to when you follow people, not necessarily on Twitter, but I'm saying in general, if you when you follow people, that's politicians, that's whatever. When you follow people, make sure that person is on the up and up. Make sure that person knows exactly what they're talking about. Because a lot of times you follow behind people, you follow behind trends, and they'll have you going down the wrong road. And sometimes it might have disastrous consequences for following the wrong people.
Man, to just have a mind of your own, bro. Like at the end of the day, you can follow somebody, but I mean, it's a point where you gotta think for yourself. Stop just mindlessly following people and develop your own opinions. I mean, it's okay to believe in people and what they say, but you gotta kind of form your own ideas as well. Like it's a lot of people who just mindless eat, like they just listen to whatever somebody says is gospel, and they don't even think for themselves. And I think that's what this social media has created. It's like a bunch of mindless sheep just following somebody, and they don't even know where they're going in life because they don't think for themselves.
Well,
Like, bro?
I will say in defense of Kyrie, it is kind of weird when a big corporation has the ability to force you to do something that you don't necessarily really do, or don't necessarily want to do, especially when it deals with your health. That's about the only argument that I would ever make. Anybody not being able to have that level of freedom for themselves. However, I'm definitely pro-vax. I mean, as Black people, I guess the history of vaccinations not necessarily working out for Black people. It's easy for us to like have that trepidation, but I do look at the NBA and realize they're a $1 billion, maybe $1 trillion company, however much, and they have to do what's best for their best interest, and honestly, pushing forward that agenda, as it said, it basically does guide people down the right path of thinking like, hey, we need to get this vaccination, and anything that detracts from that is problematic. I feel, obviously Kyrie, his position is one that influences people to make bad decisions. At the end of the day, I feel as if Kyrie is just like some prima donna who really, really wants to be that it person. He Justin Timberlake when in actuality he's JC should say, you know. A matter of fact, he's so JC Chazé that people who don't know who NSYNC is might not know who JC Chazé is, but they know who Justin Timberlake is. Gruden, he gonna be like manager. Kyrie, he gonna be assistant manager of that, Cricket Mobile that like they take over. Put some minutes on somebody's cell phone. That's the only way they're gonna talk until next month. If you lose your job, and so be it. Who cares? Let's move on. Like
Right.
if y'all don't want to get your vaccine, I hope you don't get sick. You can go meet God in person. Tell him I said, hey, don't judge me for the websites I went to on my cell phone. Let's go,
Man.
So with that being said, and with Kyrie's stance, let's get some NBA predictions. The season tips off Tuesday with a double header. What do you guys think is going to happen this season, and what teams are you rooting for?
Man, I don't know, cuz that boy Giannis coming down the court hitting folks with that pulling from three. He pulling from deep. He pulling from deep. So I don't know. Giannis look tough, man. I think they let him win a championship. He got a little confidence, a little swagger, and he out there looking like he definitely worked on some things. Unlike Ben Simmons.
Hey.
Unlike Ben Simmons, he looked like he actually went out there and put in work in the offseason and developed a pull-up game from three. So I mean, he's confident.
So
He's coming down the court.
Who's in your finals?
I would say right now, I mean, I would probably say the Bucks for sure, especially with Kyrie not looking like he's not going to play anytime soon. I would say the Bucks and maybe the Lakers, maybe, depending on how that team meshes, we'll have to see what happens with Westbrook and LeBron and AD, how they mesh together. But I think those two are probably the two top teams at the start of the season. And, then it's just everybody else after them. Of course, you can't leave out Phoenix that was in the finals last year. They have pretty much had the same core. You got the Warriors with Steph and, Clay is healthy. So and that young core that they have is pretty tough too. Can't knock those guys. They play hard. And with Steph, I mean, of course, like anything is possible. The man had 2 4-point plays in one game in the preseason, bro. Like, come on now. I mean, but anyway, I mean, I think those are the teams to beat right now. LA and the Bucks are far and above everybody else, and then of course, you got those other teams. So
the East is going to be very, very deep this year. I think the East is going to be very tough because you have Miami, they got Kyle Lowry, they got Jimmy Butler. That's going to be a defensive-minded grit and grind team. I think they're going to take teams like the Bucks, like depending on how they gel and if they stay healthy. Of course, health is always going to play a factor in it, but I think you have to put Miami in the picture. You have to put the Bulls in the picture because they have a good nucleus with what they have, with getting DeMar DeRozan, with having Zach LaVine, getting Caruso. Then you have not putting Caruso up there as the top player, but I mean you still have to respect his athletic ability as well as I can't think of the big boy name that they got from Vucevic, yeah, from the guy they got from Orlando. Then of course, even still, shit, with Kyrie not being there, Kevin Durant and James Harden gonna easily fucking give you 30 apiece a night. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just happy they got rid of that bullshit so he can't go to the foul line a million ways. I know he's gonna invent something else to where he's gonna still get fouled. And then, going to the West, you definitely got to put LA in there. They got a jail, but I think that team is going. They got too many players. They got too many lineups they can run. The Clippers are definitely out of the picture because Kawhi ain't playing this year, so it's over for them. You got Dallas and you got
Dallas. Dallas is tough.
Dallas is gonna be a tough one. And then you got Golden State, which is, I would say, in my Western Conference Finals, I would probably say you can. I think what we're hoping for is a Golden State versus the Lakers and a rematch of the Bucks versus the Brooklyn Nets, and hoping for a Bucks Lakers finals. I think that's what we're hoping for. What we're gonna see, we don't know. But I'm always going for my boy LBJ to hold up the trophy at the end of the fucking year so he can shut them haters up. Because they always get I'm light skinned and I'm rooting for a nigga on team dark skin. I'm supposed to be rooting for Steph Curry and them, but fuck all that. The king gonna reign again. He gonna be hoisting up the trophy, then he gonna retire. It's all over.
Hey, you see the boy with the headband on,
You
cuz
need
with
to
the
take that
stick.
shit off. You
He
need
take-
to take
he
that
taking
shit
it-
off.
He going back.
That boy
He
look
going back
dumb
to
as
the Miami days. Not one, not two. Looking
Oh, my
at
brother.
I don't know. It's kind of like I'm in a New Orleans household, so naturally, like I'm I'm pulling for the Pelicans, but realistically, I feel as if it's going to be a lake show. I'm put, that's my team. Like, that ain't my team, but I'm pulling for LeBron, and like I feel like as with their additions, like I mean, they got like just as good a shot, well, the best shot from the West. I mean, if they can get around the powerhouse, which is Golden State and Curry, and yeah, Klay Thompson is coming back. Honestly, I feel as if like Draymond probably going to get like Defensive Player of the Year, but we'll see what happens. That's all I can say.
I think well my favorite team is the Miami Heat, but I think we're still gonna have some offensive limitations depending on what Tyler Hero shows up. If the rookie Tyler Hero shows up, no, I'm sorry, the bubble Tyler Hero shows up, before he got super famous out there with a boy Jack Harlow making songs about him. Dee, 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 dee. But you know what I'm saying? And I think Bam Adebayo needs to take that next level. He has to take his game to the next level. I mean, he's getting paid like a max contract player. He needs to take his game to the next level. My heart, I'm hoping for Miami to come out of the East, but I'm knowing it's probably gonna be Milwaukee or Brooklyn with or without Kyrie. I think they just gonna at some point they just gonna tell him, "Hey man, if you gonna be with us, be with us. If not, kick rocks." And I think Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn is coming out of the East, and out West. I'm sentimental. You see my name. Oh, hey, Chef. Let's go. Clay coming back. You got 3 first round lottery picks: Wiseman, Moody, Kaminga. Uh, and I'm holding out hope. I'm holding out hope that they can trade and get Ben Simmons. I'm holding out hope.
All right,
But even if they don't trade and get Ben Simmons, I want that Golden State team to come back and really write a storybook finish because I me personally, I didn't like how it ended, with the whole injuries with Toronto because I thought they were a far better team than that Toronto team. And if Clay hadn't went down, I think they still beat them even without Kevin Durant. So sentimentally, I'm gonna say Brooklyn, KD, and Harden, Golden State. That'll be some drama. You got Steph Curry versus KD. Hey, I'm just saying TV ratings, TV ratings. But we thank you guys for tuning in to episode 14 of the podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And I told you guys, if you stayed for the whole show, we were going to let you know how you can get some of this drip. Young Reezy, let them know how they can get some of this drip.
Too sexy for my so sexy. Nah, it's fine. Hey yo, y'all, you know what I'm saying? We got the shop up. Y'all go support. Cop out 50 of them things at shop.theygonefeelmepodcast.com. Again,
Once again, get
shop,
some again.
shop.theygonefeelmepodcast.com. And something added, we got a WordPress, we got a blog, so y'all can go check out us. I ain't gonna say it's gonna be daily, but we're gonna be posting a lot, you know what I'm saying? Posting on different topics on They Gon' Feel Me podcast.wordpress.com. So y'all go check out the WordPress, and we're gonna be blogging. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have some posts. Our first post is up about Drake and Kanye, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go check it out. Y'all go comment, like it up, you know, share it. And
Also,
y'all with some more content.
In the comment section, let us know which one of these shirts are y'all feeling. Y'all feeling the red? Y'all feeling the white? Or y'all feeling that off-white? But come here. I just said vote. If you ain't feel us this time,
You gotta say it was
make sure to tune in next time. You definitely gonna feel. We out.